Brickyard! We welcome race fans, one and all, back to Green Flag TV. This afternoon, we get set to kick off another season, and boy, it is bound to be a fun one. Welcome to the Speed Cup Series and to season number 3. My name is Ola Rempo, bringing you all of racing action from start to finish here this afternoon from this 2.5-mile speedway. My goodness, what an absolute ride it is going to be here on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. There is a lot to get excited about this afternoon. It's not your traditional season opener venue, but it is going to play host to a huge test of skill for all of these drivers, and there's a lot that I think they can be looking forward to over the course of the season. Let's take a look at that official schedule coming on over into this afternoon. We kick it off at Indianapolis, then we'll swing over to the Mobility Resort Motegi over in Japan. Our first road course race comes at the Chicago Street Circuit to kick off August. From there, it's Richmond, Michigan, Daytona, and Darlington to round out August. From there, you'll have Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Bristol, and Kansas all the way through September. The Circuit Gilles Villeneuve will be one of the final road course races we'll be seeing over the course of the season, followed by the Talladega Super Speedway. From there, it is a 4-race sprint to decide the champion. Las Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, and Phoenix will be closing out the championship throughout October and November. Again, a lot of things to be excited about for this field. There's a lot of new things coming on into the championship this afternoon. Championship format in terms of the points distribution, relatively unchanged. 40 points at first, 35 for second, decreased by 1, all the way back down to about the 35th driver, and then from there, 1 point for 36th on back. Bonus points for starting on pole, leading at least 1 lap, leading the most laps, and finishing a race without any incident points. 2-point penalties will be given out for every driver that has received 20 incidents or more. And of course, the top 10 drivers will be set for the chase for the Cup. And of course, that is an extension from the top 7 that we saw in season number 2. So bringing out that field to a more even 10. There's also a best of the rest consolation race. All drivers outside the top 10 will have their points reset to 1,000 points or less than the chase drivers. They'll compete in a consolation championship for the final races of the season, with the winner taking the best of the rest consolation, getting a prize presented by one of the sponsors of the series. It's going to be a wild show, no doubt, this afternoon. So with that, let's take a quick chance to thank some of those sponsors this afternoon for taking the time and the money to, of course, help keep the Speed Cup Series alive. Tonight's race brought to you by Brookstone Animal Hospital. Brookstone Animal Hospital is a AAHA-accredited full-service veterinary, medical, boarding, and grooming facility serving Metro Atlanta, with a mission to provide modern and up-to-date medicine while also tailoring care to the health and well-being of all animals. Visit BrookstoneVet.com to schedule your appointment today. And by Beer Street Journal, one of the largest online collections of original content dedicated to covering beer culture, education, and the advancement of the beer industry. With thousands of articles, millions of unique visitors, and exposure in over 200 countries, Beer Street Journal is paving the way to enabling category growth, engaging a broader consumer base, and promoting better taste in beer for years to come. BeerStreetJournal.com, the best in beer. Other sponsors include Twisted Steel Steak Appeal, Simbrant Market, and Tires Plus Total Car Care. Qualifying is currently underway from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You can see a few drivers just sort of lumbering their way across the line as they look to try and put down sometimes just get themselves on the boards. There are over 30 cars getting set to do battle this afternoon, and a lot of them are rookies. We take a look at some of those rookies now. Brandon Fetterplace making his Cup Series debut. He is not the only one, though, by any stretch of the means. Craig Schwarter, currently sitting in 11th, is making his first start this afternoon. Zachary Cox is making his Speed Cup Series debut. Other drivers making those debuts include Charles Simmer, Matthew Mystical, Jason Taylor, Kevin Graham, Ryan Williams, Bobby Anderson. So a lot of rookies looking to try and put down some lap times here this afternoon, and looking like we will be having ourselves with qualifying coming to a pretty quick close. So we are just about ready to get this show on the road for what will no doubt be a very intense bout. 225 miles and 90 laps will roll out from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's take a rundown of what that starting grid is going to look like this afternoon. The field of 33 cars strong, getting set to light up as we get set to go to war at the Brickyard. Jason Garcia starts this race from the pole out of the Atlantic States. He'll be starting on that number 1 spot. Your defending champion, see what he can do from pole position tonight. His main rival, Ryan Shelton from Vincent Motorsports, will be starting beside him on the front row. Bowie Esports' Brandon Fetterplays brings it up in 3rd with Christopher Darden for MGR down in 4th. Ethan Amberg, one of the other rookies out of Ohio, will be starting his race in 5th with Evan Lindquist out of the Midwest in 6th. Vincent Motorsports' Josiah Vincent will be in 7th place with Sedarius Days, and for Highline Motorsports in 8th. Martin Plute for MGR is down in 9th. Josh McDougall rounds out the top 10. Scooters Racing's Craig Schroeder brings up the 11th place spot of row number 6. Outside of him is Zachary Cox for Highline Motorsports. Vincent Motorsports' Joey Barrett starts 13th inside of row number 7. Outside of row 7, he got Corey Hutchinson out of Florida. Old Guy Racing's Michael Mooney brings it up on row number 8 to his outside. It'll be Cool Runnings Racing's Carlton Charles. Florida native Benazzi Major brings it up in the 17th position on row number 9 alongside Josh Emerson, again out of the Midwest. Closing out the top 20 of this field, you'll have Stan Hausman for MGR alongside Joppo Motorsports' Mark McFadden. Micah McReynolds brings it home out of the Prairie States down to 21st alongside Charles Simmer out of the Midwest. BSRO Racing's Mike Borkrit starts 23rd with Matthew Mystical out of the Carolinas in 24th. Jason Taylor for Black Flag Motorsports, the final driver put down a qualifying lap this afternoon. He was 18 seconds off the pace, sandbagging for sure. He starts 25th with Bobby Anderson for Dirty South Racing starting to his outside in 26th, not putting down a qualifying lap. From there, MGR locks out row number 14 with Ben Mashburn and Doug Milder. Kevin Graham for Allen Motorsports and Jason Chu for Jason Chu Racing is down in the top 30. Tim Branson, Andy Levier, and Ryan Williams bring up the rear of the field. With all that said and done, this pack effectively set and ready to rumble. Boy, 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 it is going to be a wild one. We're going to take a brief step back. Just got a technical glitch to work out. We'll be back in a moment on Green Flag TV. Green flag is out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The field hightailing down through turn numbers 1 and 2 right now. Jason Gracias and Ryan Shelton side by side. They work off the top side of turn number 2 for lap number 1. Still looking to get that opening lap in the books. Ryan Shelton still leading the way on the mat scramble down to turn number 1, trying to go around through the inside line. Jason Gracias fending him off though for the race lead. So Gracias hangs on to the point. Well, everyone behind just in a mad scramble for second on down. Off of turn number 4, it will be none other than Jason Gracias who will lead the first lap to green from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Speed Cup Series for race number 1 is officially underway. The pack getting themselves sorted as you work your way through turn numbers 1 and 2 for the second time this afternoon. Further down towards the rear of the field, quite a few drivers are trying to get themselves sorted in a mad scramble. Well, right now it's all eyes up front as drivers look set to duke it out left, right, front, and center. Garcia's leading the way. Shelton second, Darling third, Lindquist fourth. Fetter Place brings home the top 5. And what a wild run this is no doubt getting set to be this afternoon as drivers try to see who's going to go for what further on throughout the course of the season. Once again, still looking to battle some of these technical issues. We will continue to keep you updated with race events as they occur. For now, it is Garcias leading the way at the end of lap number 1. All issues should be fully sorted now. You can see still Ryan Shelton pulling away at the head of this field. The rest of the pack in a mad scramble behind, trying to see who can come out on top. In a pit road early on, you'll have Levier. He is down with Matthew Mystical, ultimate at pit road. Ryan Williams did not make the starting grid this afternoon, so Garcias hangs on to the lead. Shelton third, second, Darling third, then it's Lindquist, Fetter Place. Ethan Amber brings up that 6th spot, making his rookie debut with so many others this afternoon. About the third of this field made up of rookie drivers this afternoon. You fade further back in the field. Carlton Charles in a battle with rookie Jason Taylor for Black Flag Motorsports. The number 41 Ford Mustang is on an absolute tear right now as Taylor looks set to try and put himself away into the 17th spot. He is going to absolutely gun it here down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. The other end of the racetrack. Taylor able to hang on. You've got Emmett Lindquist, Brandon Fetter Place, 4th and 5th. A lot of drivers still looking to duke it out in the early goings of this race. Kevin Graham, one of the other rookies, dropping back at the tail end of this field. Right now, Darling, Lindquist, Fetter Place, and Amber bring home 3rd through 6th. Jason Garcia is currently the quickest car on the racetrack. Put down the fastest lap of the race, 53.55. He is right now leading the way as the man to be over a second, almost a second and a half now, over Ryan Shelton. So your defending champion for MGR is on an absolute tear of it up the road. Right now, one of the bigger battles. How about Josh Emerson trying to go the long way around Manazzi Major? Major going to fend him off, though, down to the turn number 3. Josh Emerson can't make much of that. He is going to be dropping back. Meanwhile, Levier back out on the racetrack. We'll see what he can make out of his race as the Bridgestone machine hoping for a Brookstone Animal Hospital lucky dog come the halfway point. Side by side for the top 5. Ethan Amberg trying to punch his ticket into the top 5. And he's back up to where he started. So the number 14 Mustang is having a good show of things down low. Meanwhile, Fetter Place and Darling going to go at it for 3rd and 4th. The MGR number 11 Toyota Camry going up against Brandon Fetter Place. Everyone else, single file for the most part through this field. The pack spreading out relatively early on. Again, no surprises here with that. We were anticipating that this field would be breaking up relatively early on in this race. With this being in Indianapolis, it does make it a really difficult track to try and get alongside with drivers. You need to really rely on a lot of momentum coming off of turns 2 and 4. Just like Fetter Place had, he'll pip Darling for that final podium position. put the number 34 Camry up and into third. Checking in on Stan Hausman, Ben Mashburn, Josh Emerson. Also having a go at it as Mashburn clears Emerson for 18th. Down the front straightaway, Emerson seeing if he can't get a run back on Ben Mashburn. Mashburn, meanwhile, setting his sights up on Stan Hausman just up the road. Hausman running some new colors this season. Looking to see what the 39 entry is going to be able to make out of his season so far. Doug Milliner also going to attack Carlton Charles with the Wonder Bread Mustang to the inside of the number 27 Camry, and he is through. So Doug Milliner putting himself up to 22nd. He was +6 so far on the day. Right now, biggest mover, put that to Jason Taylor, the Black Flag Motorsports driver. Up to the 15th spot, he is +10 after starting this race in 25th without putting down a qualifying lap. Or at least not a respectable qualifying lap. With sandbagging, he was 18 seconds off the pace. The pole sitter, Gracias. Christopher Darling up to the 4th position as Ethan Amberg looking like he wants to take that spot away, and take it away he will. Amberg to the inside through turn number 1. Put Amberg up and into the 4th spot. Having a good go at it early on here. This race looking like it's going to be a lively one early on. We're already 10 laps into a 90-lap affair, and you can tell that this race is going to be one for the books. One of the biggest fields that Speed has ever seen. A lot of rookies in this field, and all of them looking to prove something. Taylor makes up his 11th spot on the night by overtaking fellow rookie Craig Schroeder. The Scooters Racing's number 56 Camaro has not had an ideal start. The Coors Light machine has been dropping down. He's down 4 positions from the start of this race. So race pace lacking a little bit, it seems, for Craig Schroeder, at least in the initial run. We'll see if he can mount a charge further on as this race progresses into the evening. Just in front of him, series veteran Joey Barrett. Looking like the 43 entry might be about to come under fire. Quarter of a second in closing as Barrett trying to hang on for 13th on the racetrack. If Taylor closes in much more, though, Barrett will be losing that spot by the time they get out of turn 4. Up the road, Corey Hutchinson takes to the inside of Sedarius Days. And they're going to be side by side down the front stretch. Days on the outside, Hutchinson on the inside. The Ford Motorcraft Mustang squeaks through into a top 10. So Corey Hutchinson he's going to try to keep at it now. Another side-by-side battle. Doug Milliner on the move again. To the inside of Michael Mooney, trying to overtake the old guy racing number 88 Mustang. Mooney's got some draft to help him from Josh Emerson up the road. It's not going to work for him, though, as they get down to turn 3. Milliner shoots the inside and is going to pick off the 88. Checking in on the race leader's progress, could Gracias be slipping back a little bit? He's been losing quite a bit, rather consistently back to Ryan Shelton. If Shelton can keep up this pressure, he could be back up there with Casillas before long. Jason may very well have burned up a lot of that equipment in the early goings of this race, and now starting to feel the tire wear. So we march ever closer towards lap 20. Martin Ploot going to look to the inside of Josiah Vincent. One away for Ploot. Vincent didn't really fight that one all that hard. As I say that, he'll get a cut to the inside. Trying to battle back against Ploot into turn 4. And he's going to make something happen for that. Corey Hutchinson, meanwhile, having issues. He is down low in turn 4. He's going to come back up onto the racetrack, but major problems here for Corey Hutchinson in the early going of this race. Take a look. Oh, Hutchinson caught the wall, got turned by McDougall, slid down. That was a mighty fine save to keep that car off the inside wall. Take another look. Slammed the wall, and then got punted. The car in front of him slammed into the wall as well, so that was definitely target fixation right there. Jason Taylor continuing his charge. He has just gotten around Joey Barrett. Barrett now getting around Josh McDougall. On the move, Bobby Anderson for DSR. Taking the Kellogg's Corn Flakes Toyota up and by Ben Mashburn. Right now, everybody still on the racetrack is on the lead lap. Andy Levier is back into pit road. He has been there for about a lap now, so looking like Levier's day could very well be done. And in fact, Levier with huge damage, in fact. So big problems for Levier here. We'll try to see if we can track down what the heck happened. The front end of the BSRO machine is destroyed. Well, you caught the end of it right there. Lost it out of turn 2. Taking another look at this one as he comes around to that second corner. Just got a little bit out of shape on the outside. Lost it. Hard shot into the inside wall. That'll do it. No caution. Nobody was around it, but that's a day over for the number 26. Matthew Mystical has been... Oh, big trouble. Multiple cars around. Taylor's into the... Josh Barrett's into the inside wall. McDougall's into the inside wall. No caution yet. But a big mess as the field scrambles on the back straightaway. Joey Barrett hemorrhaging positions, as is McDougall on the inside. Huge off. McDougall still down in the grass. Does not look like we will get a caution for this one. We're going to look to keep this green. But a massive incident on the back straightaway. It's already in progress. You see two cars getting hooked together. That was Barrett and McDougall going big time into the wall. Taking another look. Oh, I think Barrett got loose off the corner, and that's what kind of created that chain reaction of a mess. Take a look back. Let's ride on board with McDougall. Yeah, they both got a little twitchy, and Barrett just... I have no idea what to say about that. I mean, right there, that was a little bit before this whole incident really kind of kicked off. We'll cut back just a little bit further here. And again, tracking, you can see Barrett getting loose. You can already see that tail end kicking out. Sweeps to the inside. Yeah, then he just drifted right back up, had no control. That sent both cars pretty heavily into the inside wall, so two more drivers down and out there, both in the pit road. Well, Joey Barrett's actually coming back out onto the racetrack. McDougal's still in pit road. So Barrett taking a bold call by looking to stay out here, and now Josh Emerson with problems. Emerson has caught the wall big, it looks like, as he starts to make his way into the pits. Look at all that left front damage on his machine. Right on board. He's on the run down to turn 3, and he will have lost this in turn 3, or at least tracked up into the wall at some point. He's already very low on the racetrack, and in fact, that was actually after he already had the damage. So how Josh Emerson obtained his damage is going to be a mystery, but the number 73 Bridgestone Camaro into pit road. A lot of cars all of a sudden making those mistakes at about the lap 15 to 20 mark. You have to wonder what this spells in the rest of the field and who's been pushing it early on. Craig Schroeder finally on the move. He's been dropping back for a lot of this opening stint, but now we see him finding his rhythm. The number 56 up to 12, up the track goes Days out of the groove. He'll give up a spot to Ben Mashburn as well. Oh, trouble back straightaway. Caution is going to be out. McReynolds is involved. Rookie Charles Simmer is involved. Looking like Jason Shue avoided that mess, but Tim Branson caught the worst of it, and we have our first yellow flag of the season. Strike 1, strike 2. Finally on strike 3, we get the yellow flag call. Your race leader is Jason Garcia, who just about wrecked it on the back straightaway. Let's take a jump back, show you what happened. That is already in progress. We'll chop back just a little further. So McReynolds clipped the grass in turn 2. That may have unsettled him. It looks like he went to the inside, lost the back end, slid right back up. Still chasing the car right into traffic. And Simmer tried to go low, anticipated that the 102 would go up. He did not. And that created all of this. Bobby Anderson looks to be the lone card that came down pit road under this yellow flag from the looks of things. So nobody else really taking the chance to come down to pit road. Interesting call from the field. Take another look. So we at speed. Watch the 42. He's going to make that cut to the inside and slam right into the tail end. Hard crash on the back straightaway. It's very rare that you get these types of crashes in the middle of the straight. Let's ride on board here with McReynolds. This will give you, sorry, with Charles Simmer, this will give you a good indicator of what he was thinking. Watch the 102. So you can't see him. All of a sudden he slides up. You think he's going to keep going up towards the wall, so Simmer tried to anticipate it. And unfortunately, anticipation here just goes all sorts of wrong. Here comes the field in a pit road. It's about to be a very busy place. How about that? Michael Mooney actually going to stay out. Bold call from Mooney here. Well, Garcias and everybody else is down and into pit road. So Mooney picks up the race lead. He is not going to be staying there. I can guarantee you that much. Into the pit boxes, and looking like this is going to be a relatively straightforward run, although Ryan Shelton having to readjust, so he entered pit road in second. You saw him wiggling the car to try to get some momentum going. All of a sudden, he goes from second, dropping back out of the top 10, down to 12th. Horrible pit stop for the U.S. Air Force number 99 Camaro. But Michael Mooney leads the way under yellow flag number 1 of the afternoon. We're going to take a step back. When we return, it is more racing action from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Michael Mooney opting to take the inside line, it looks like, for the restart here. Jason Garcias will be started up to his outside. Field getting stacked up, doubled up, and ready to rumble out once again from IMS for round 1 of the Speed Cup Series. Quite a few cars have found themselves being branded as wounded warriors at the tail end of the field. Joey Barrett, after going hard into the inside wall with Josh McDougall for an incident that did not bring out a caution. Michael McReynolds, of course, having to take a quick repair to get himself back into contention after going around to the back straightaway. Charles Simmer making his way back out onto the racetrack after failing to anticipate where McReynolds was going to go after he got loose and careening straight into the back end. Not an ideal start from several rookies in this field, but still a long way to go in this 225-mile opener from IMS. "29 cars remain on the racetrack, 24 of which are on the lead lap. The iRacing pace car makes its way down and into pit road.
Green flag, green flag.
3 flags in the air. We are back underway. Mooney immediately moving up to the top to cover off the outside line. Remember, Michael Mooney on old tires, saving that set for later on. He is immediately going to be losing the lead to Jason Garcias. So Garcias back to the point. Mooney going to be dropping back. This is as good a time as ever to bring up the factoid of tire strategy, as Brandon Federplay is now trying to attack for the lead. You only have 2 sets of tires at the pits to work with. 2 tire changes over 90 laps. That's a long way to go. So Mooney banking on the fact that there might be some late race carnage that allows her to take an extra set when other drivers may very well be out. Macias leads the way, but here comes Better Place trying to attack. Getting the nose in around the outside. Going to make that lunge into turn one. He's going to try for 3 wide. Meanwhile, whoa, boy, in contact. Up the track goes the 65. That was a wild ride. Ryan Shelton getting muscled out. And nearly having a caution entering turn number one on a wild moment. One driver way down low. That's Corey Hutchinson. Again, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Joey Barrett's in the pit road. Contact between Sedarius Days and Hutchinson. 3 wide wasn't going to work. They're going to try for it again, though, at turn 4. Look at the 5 of Bobby Anderson down on the bottom. Picking off Kevin Graham and Ben Mashburn. 2 for 2 in turn 4. Wild moves taking place at the Brickyard. Ben Mashburn has found the outside wall, and that front clip hanging on by a thread right now. The casualties continue to mount up. Let's take a look back on this mad dash into turn number 1. This was so close to bringing out a caution flag. You saw Ben Mashburn already slow on the racetrack. And that was actually already well after all of this mess started. So it really kicked off on lap 26 on that approach down to turn number 1. There you saw, they were 4 wide for a brief moment. Shelton got turned hard. That's where Mooney found the outside wall. Take one more look back at that one. That is, I think, telling a very different story to what we initially thought. Look at this, 3 wide. And down the pit straight, Mashburn went down to the inside, made it 4. How that was not a caution is absolutely beyond me. Talk about car control with Ryan Shelton, but showing that some drivers might want to be giving a little more instead of taking. It's the season opener. You want to come out swinging, but I don't think that was necessarily what we were thinking. Josiah Vincent picking off Emmett Lindquist. Ryan Shelton going through as well. And I think finally we're settled into a place where we can breathe a little bit. Michael Mooney, credit to him. He's on 22 lap older tires than the rest of the field. He is still doing his best to try to hang on for whatever he can get. Currently running in that 15th place, Sedarius Days right on his heels. He was just overtaken by Corey Hutchinson up the road. Could have a battle on our hands here for 5th as Martin Bluth under fire from Zachary Cox. Cox thinking about making a move to the inside. He's looking, not going to commit. Behind Benazzi Major, going to overtake Emmett Lindquist. So Major cruising through turn number 1. Emmett Lindquist, another driver that's been driving back on this run, but that's because he took 2 tires on that pit stop run. Behind you see Kevin Graham come off the wall a little bit. So pit strategies abound, and Jason Taylor with a close shave off of turn number 2, sorry. And we got one around, one to the inside wall. McReynolds has lost it again. So McReynolds back into the inside fence. A few drivers with problems. Take a look first on what happened to Jason Taylor. Yeah, he just lost that back and off the corner, and then right behind him, McReynolds going around once, and then was really pedaling it all throughout the exit of the corner, and then just went bang, into the inside wall again. Take a ride on board. We'll have to jump back a little bit further than that. You saw him already chasing the cars at turn 3, and his problem is he never let the car settle fully. It sounded like he was just fighting that thing all the way throughout the corner. That's a hard lick into the inside wall. That will bring it back down to pit road. Charles Simmer is back in the pit road as well, and boy, he has found the wall in a big way. Goodness gracious. I mean, this whole race, man, it is just kicking off. There's absolutely no give right now throughout this field. Everybody pushing this car to its absolute limits, and quite a few overstepping the mark. Emil Lindquist, Stan Hausman looking to go at it once again. Stan Hausman trying to overtake Lindquist, and that's going to muscle the 44 up the track and almost into the wall. Hausman really stuffed it in there. Never made contact, but sure scared Lindquist out of the way. But now Hausman's loose through turn 4 as he clips the grass on the bottom side. How about Kevin Graham trying to make a move? The rookie to the inside, Kevin Graham for Allen Motorsports, up to the 11th spot, a top 10 in his sights. Never a chance to breathe at IMS. Minazzi Major, Bobby Anderson going at it. Anderson takes one away down the inside and then turn number 3. Major dropping back. The Kellogg's Cornflakes Camry continuing on the move. Behind, the battle pack continuing to intensify. Lindquist under some more fire now by Stan Hausman. Hausman already had to fight to get around Lindquist once, lost it again 1 corner later. This time, can he secure it in 2? He sure will, because Lindquist under fire from Hutchinson. Oh no, contact, around they go! Hard into the inside wall, both cars coming down to it. What is happening at Indianapolis? Lindquist almost loops it back into traffic. Field getting itself sort of way up the hill as Carl and Charles Millen are able to hang on in the chaos. These guys can't catch a break. Take a look. Down the back straightaway. What the heck happened here? Hutchinson just pinched him in and turned him. Just left rear hooked him. That was, I'm sorry, that's pretty darn clumsy. Middle of the straightaway. Lindquist did a good job to lock that down. Did you not see him? That's the only possible reason I can think as to why that would have happened the way it did. Trying to side draft and pick up some of that draft down the straightaway. Just left rear hooked him down to the inside wall. Chalk him another incident that somehow does not bring out the yellow flag. Half a second. Gracias, Fetterplace, Amber, all in a line. Jason Gracias has not been able to break away from this field as convincingly as he did on his first outing. You wonder if maybe he's learned his lessons and now he's backing off a little bit. Managing those tires a bit more on this second stint. Corey Hutchinson now trying to see if he can get around Craig Schroeder. Couldn't make the run down to turn 3. Oh, but he's going to get to the back bumper. Moves him in 3. And he'll take that one away at turn 4. Behind, we got another car going around. Oh, and hard into the outside wall for Mike Morkrid. Morkrid tanks the fence. And again, we ask ourselves, what has happened at Indianapolis? Is there a full moon out right now? Is there a full moon tonight? That's the only thing I can explain this race. Morkrid tracking up wide into the outside wall. Started to loop it. Heavy shot into the wall. Carlin Charles again with a lucky miss. Battle is on for second. Brandon Fetterplace and Ethan Amberg are absolutely on it. You know, I asked if it was a full moon out. Well, full moon's not for 3 days, but it's pretty close to it. Will Amberg make the look to get around Fetterplace or will he try to push Gracias to the top step? Looking like he's going to try to push him. Gracias just lapped Micah McRunnels. Only 20 cars remain on the lead lap now, and right now you've got now 3 that are down in pit road for service, others that are down and out of the race. You got cars up to 10 laps down. To say this has been a wild race, a little bit of an understatement. Oh no, McRunnels loses it again. This time nearly takes out Ethan Amberg. You saw him twitch and almost caught him. You can tell McRunnels is not comfortable at this racetrack with this car. Shelton attacking Josiah Vincent. Easy pass there for Ryan Shelton down in the turn number 3. Behind Bobby Anderson and Zachary Cox gonna go and duke it out. Checking into the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. All line of stern coming down through turn numbers 1 and 2. Martin Blood sweeping up the racetrack. Ryan Shelton on a tear. Trying to get back around him. Blood looking to block a little bit. Shelton not forcing the issue. Only 5 laps away from halfway, and again, you have to ask yourself if this race is ever going to find a chance to calm itself down. You see right there one more car up the racetrack. That is Matthew Mystical, who just went into the outside wall. He has been to the pits since lap 2 of this race, and has only just now got himself properly back up on the racetrack. Not sure what the problem was for Mystical and what put him down and out so early on, but the 509 Camaro going to be looking to pick up points as drivers get themselves eliminated from this event. Coming to pit road is Michael Mooney. So you got our first green flag pit stop of the night. Remember, most of this field only has 1 set of tires left. So they're looking to get at least to halfway before they will come down to pit road again. Bobby Anderson looking to the inside of Josiah Vincent. Shoots to the inside, makes the pass for 7th. Other drivers like Christopher Darling still in their own little battle packs. Right now, Darling still leading the way in that battle for 4. They're catching up to Michael McRunnels, Ethan Amberg, about 5 seconds up the road. I have a distinct feeling that Ryan Sheldon is not going to be wanting to hang around behind your Season 1 champion. Look out! As boy, oh boy, Darling kicking the tail end out. McRunnels pulls the inside, makes it easy. Darling was power sliding off of turn 4. Shelton is through to 4th, and now can try to gun it after Amberg. Unless Darling decides to cut back on him. Trouble, front straightaway. Josh Emerson stopped out of turn number 4. That car facing the wrong direction. He will take the tow. No caution, we stay green. Now what's happened here to Emerson? He's all by himself. Too wide of the Ford, way too much speed. Didn't catch the ball, but lost it off the corner. He got some help as well. Hard into the inside wall. That may have been Taylor that hooked him. That said, he was all ready to lose. That just finished the job. Anderson screams to the inside of Plout. Makes the pass. Further behind, another battle we haven't checked in on too much. Dan Hausman, Sedarius Days, and we're getting a little closer. And now the KFC Highlight Motorsports number 12 Chevrolet Camaro to the inside of Hausman, makes the pass. Jason Garcia is continuing to lead the way, has been starting to build up that gap. Brandon Fetterplace has been unable to really close the gap in too much. Lap traffic really starting to be a bit more prominent now up on the racetrack as drivers pull to the inside, trying to let the leaders through, not looking to get themselves too involved in lead lap battles at the time being. Jason Gracias will take himself to the front straightaway. We are now halfway home, 45 down, 45 to go. So with us being halfway through this race, I'm going to once again thank some of the sponsors here for the Speed Cup Series. Tonight's race brought to you by Twisted Steel Steak Appeal. Twisted Steel Steak Appeal by Marty Plout has a solid punch of sweet and a heat flavor that lingers to let you know it's there. Marty Plout is an award-winning Steak Cook-Off Association cook, and he has finally revealed his secret recipe rub that'll blow you away with flavor. Steak, veggies, fish, pork, and poultry. Twisted Steel Steak Appeal is a rub above the rest. And by Simrat Market. Simrat Market offers a variety of products, including number kits, overlays, Vector Smart templates-based design patterns, and track camera packages. Your one-stop shop for all of your iRacing graphic needs. It's also brought to you by Max Graphics. Max Graphics is all of your graphic design needs, from NASCAR to sim racing logos, banners, t-shirt design, and other commercial uses. Find out more for them today at facebook.com/Max Graphics Design. And of course, by Tires Plus Total Car Care. From simple oil changes to brakes and alignments, Tires Plus has service that keeps you in the driver's seat. Other sponsors include Brookstone Animal Hospital and Beer Street Journal. Entering the second half of this race this afternoon, the field's starting to spread out around this racetrack. So far, only one yellow flag on the afternoon, about the lap 22 mark. We saw practically the entire field come down and take tires. The few drivers that didn't, Doug Milliner took fuel only on his pit stop. Michael Mooney was the same. And then you had Carlton Charles, Mark McFadden that took only 2 tires on their stops. And now the field really spread out after a lot of extreme carnage that we saw throughout the first 15 laps of this stint. Quite a few accidents that probably could have, would have, should have been caught. But still, 19 cars up on the lead lap. About 27, 28 still in the race. And now Hausman looking at the inside of the Highline Motorsports driver of Zedarius Days. Hausman's through, he's up to 12. Biggest battle cluster on the racetrack for 4th, 5th, and loosely for 6th. Ryan Shelton is up to 4th, and he has been slowly reeling in Ethan Amberg. The gap was over 5 seconds. It is now down to about 4. So there is progress being made here as Shelton tries to reel in the top runners. Jason Garcia's at the head of this field has only continued to extend his lead after the tires started to fall off of Brandon Fetterplace. Your defending champion, look like he's going to be out for a solid opener. Hausman being attacked by Zedarius Days again. They have caught up to Andy Levier. Hausman going to look for the outside. That's not the line, though. Way too wide. Zedarius Days takes that spot away into turn number 3. Further behind, Jason Shue and Craig Schroeder going at it. Shue down low, Schroeder up top. Shue hangs on for the spot. Battle for 12 still very much underway. Shelton, Darling, Anderson going at it for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And now, a battle for 12 as well. Stan Hausman now has caught Doug Milliner. Milliner going to be sliding back down through the order as Milliner is on a run to try and see if he can hang on to these positions, but he's got Hausman ripping it around the outside. Milliner will take away the 12th spot, so put Doug Milliner up to 12, and they still have not gotten around Levier. Quite a few big races coming up on Green Flag TV. We got the SRL Next Gen Cup Series with their season opener. That'll be coming up at the iRacing Super Speedway, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. July 22nd, the High Tide Racing League MF Racing Designs Cup Series will be racing out at Atlanta Motor Speedway 9 o'clock p.m. And then the OMSRL Cup Series will be at Bristol for their 4th race of the season on Tuesday night at 8:45. Matthew Mystical with problems, stopped down low, no front clip, so big trouble for Mystical in the 509. Still sitting there for a good while. Take a look. And we might not have a clue as to what happened to Mystical. You saw smoke there. And more smoke down to the bottom. So major hardware failures for the 509. He is rolling now. So nobody turned. We don't know what happened, but evidently some kind of a hardware failure. Possibly a screen blacking out or a VR headset going blank. And he is still fighting with that tech problem as well. Carlton Charles at the pit road, and this is for his green flag pit stop. And as he has posted in our YouTube chat, he was actually still on his original set of tires. So just a long stop at about 11 seconds. Why are you typing that from in the car? You are racing. Focus on your racing. Don't be talking with me in the YouTube chat while you're out there in the car. It's a long stop as well. Speeding penalty, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, did not slow that thing down nearly enough. That explains a lot. Zachary Cox is into the infield. And he looks like he may be coming down to pit road. Mark McFadden is in. This is what happened to Cox. Just lost it in turn 3. Good save down to the 4. Had to use a bit of that pit access road. Made good use of it. You see Mark McFadden in the pit road just behind. He is just now leaving the pits. Micah McReynolds is in. So green flag pit stops underway in full force. Top few staying out still, except for Christopher Darling. Darling will be pitting in from 6th. So Christopher Darling is in, looking like Matthew Mystico might be finally able to get himself into pit road, although that car is swerving all over the place. Still no takers down in the pit road. There you see McReynolds making his way out of pit road. Was in there for a long time, getting some damage repairs. How's about it for Jason Gracias? Will we see your race leader in the pit road this time by, or is he going to be looking to stay out for a little bit longer? He sure will. No pit for the number 1. 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th both coming in. So Shelton and Anderson will hit pit road. Josiah Vincent is in as well. So looking like a couple drivers opting for the undercut strategy. Very split calls from a good chunk of this field as to whether or not they want to come down to pit road. This pit stop should be enough to get them to the end of this race. So we are seeing pit strategies manifest in full force. Shelton is out, Anderson is out. 14 seconds in the box for the both of them. Same for Josiah Vincent. Your race leader stayed out for one more run. I'm not seeing a lot of drivers being super keen on coming down to pit road as a big group, and a lot of the leaders looks like they're going to be trying to run this tank out dry before they make their final stops of the afternoon. Looking to have a bit of a lighter race car for the remainder of the race. Jason Gracias, your race leader, will take it to pit road. So the number 1 is in. Federplay staying out for the overcut. So what's the strategy going to be for the race leader? I would be shocked if it was anything other than 4 tires and fuel. Up on the right, and then the pit road swing around to the left-hand side. Darius Days comes down to pit road just a little ways behind. Corey Schroeder is in behind as well, but boy, Schroeder stepping it out on pit entry. I see Ethan Amberg, the third place runner, coming down to pit road. So third is in, first is in. Still waiting to see where the race leader is going to come out in all of this. Amberg should be able to still come out with about a third place after the pit stops have all cycled through, but obviously it will be Garcias to go back to the race lead. Kevin Graham is in a pit road as well. He is going to tuck into his pit stall further at the tail of the line. When does your net P2 runner come down to the pits? Might find himself in third by the time this is all over if it doesn't make that call soon. He and Amberg were not too far away. Currently no side-by-side battles for position up on the racetrack. And as I say that, about to eat my words, Corey Hutchinson keeping Garcias at bay. Garcias, remember though, on fresh tires, so that's an easy run. Hutchinson just letting the one car sweep around the outside. Ethan Amberg about to get around Christopher Darling as well. Coming through turn number 4, Darling making a bit of room to the inside, and Amberg not going to go for it. That could cost him pretty severely here. Here comes Fennerplay, so he taking a pit road. No, he doesn't. He continues to stay out. Ryan Shelton also on fresh rubber gets around Corey Hutchinson. Hutchinson is being very cordial about all of this. He is not looking to duke it out too much with these front runners. 30 laps to go. We are into the final third of the race. Jason Shu letting Bobby Anderson through. Anderson again, another one of those runners that's on fresh rubber and is just cutting through this field. Just tries to avoid losing as much time as possible. Finally, we see Brandon Fetterplace coming down to pit road, being extra cautious on pit entry. He's not the only one in as well. I think that was Josh McDougall that just pitted behind him as well. So there you see Fetterplace currently in pit road, highlighted in green, and then on the racetrack, that's Garcias, the net race leader. We know that he's going to take the race lead. The only question is by how much. It's going to be by a good bit. He's at the start-finish line. They haven't even started to change the left side tires yet. Off and away for Fetterplace, and he will have lost a lot of spots. Could even lose out to Amberg. And he will. Ethan Amberg drives around the outside. Picks off Fetterplace. Now here's the key thing to note though. Now, Brandon Fetterplace is about 6 lap fresher tires than a good chunk of the guys that initially came down to pit road, 4 lap fresher tires. Then Garcias.
The yellow flag is out.
And Miss goes into the wall and the yellow flag is out. Caution is out. Blue was in pit road, and we've had, I think, another big hit. Michael Mooney has just found the wall in a big way. So Mooney with big damage. Multiple cars crashing right in the middle of pit stops. Doug Milliner leads the way. Take another look. That wounded machine from Matthew Mystical just tracks up hard into the outside wall off of 3, and then he's going to overcorrect, loses the car. Tried to lock it down. There goes Michael Mooney. As Mooney got spun. Mooney tried to chase his car through turn 4 and went face first into the fence. And all of this brings out yellow flag number 2. There's the first hit for the 509. And then here comes the big one. Carlton Charles' luck for avoiding incidents runs out. So Milner now leads the way. This has just turned this entire race up on its head. I believe it should be Schwarter to get the lucky dog. Here comes the rest of the field that did not pit in a pit road. Garcia staying out, obviously. So does Shelton. Oh, me, oh, my. You wanted some drama in the season opener? Well, you got it. This is going to set up an all-out grudge match to the end of this race. Craig Schwarter will get the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award, and that puts him back on the lead lap. So the yellow flag comes out for the second time this afternoon. We're going to take another step back. We return. It's more racing action at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Jason Garcia still leads the way. We will restart this race with only 25 laps left on the docket before we will close out the season opener. 2 yellow flags so far in the afternoon, one at lap 20, and then the last one came out when, unfortunately, Matthew Mystical's technical problems returned, and Michael Mooney got run over by Carlton Charles trying to avoid, which sent both cars hard into the outside wall. That happened on lap 62. We now get set to see what will be in store for us for the rest of this 90-lap race. Restarting on lap 66. iRacing pace car will make that sharp left-hand dive into pit road. We pass that pit attenuator and get set to see what's in store for us. Green flag, back in the air. We are underway once again. Garcia's immediately looking to cover off the outside. Shelton clears with the number 2 spot. Side by side for third. Rookie Bobby Anderson trying to power to the bottom. Darling hangs on for now. Oh, Darling loose, almost turns himself into Anderson, able to get himself out of it. Down the back straightaway, in towards turn numbers 3 and 4. Garcia still hanging on for that race lead. One of the most orderly opening laps we've seen so far, but again, the question is, how long will that last? Already, you see Garcia's playing the drafting games, weaving left, weaving right, trying to keep the field at bay. Bunazzi Major being muscled out of line with a bump and run, courtesy of Kevin Graham. Sedarius Days in the mix as well, with Corey Hutchinson just behind. Major up, almost the outside wall. Milliner almost loses it. Stanhausen the inside of Hutchinson picks off another spot. And Sedarius Days is trapped in the middle of all of this, wondering where the heck do I go? Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide in a fierce battle for the 10th spot. Graham emerges victorious. Down the front stretch and towards turn numbers 1 and 2, sorry, not 3 and 4. Hauser's still trying to hang on, but Sedarius Days, whoa, he's sideways, gonna try to hang on. Scrapes it out, doesn't go into the inside wall, but it was a close one. Behind Carla Charles and a few others scrambling around him as a few cars in their little grouping got loose. Garcia's with the fastest lap of the race, last time by at 53.3. The only driver to get into the 53.3 second bracket all night. You watch the battle for fourth, Christopher Darling trying to hang on against Brandon Better Place. Ethan Amberg as well. A lot of drivers with varying tire strategies, because a lot of folks, of course, did not pit underneath that yellow flag, and why would they? They just pitted about 5 laps prior. There was no need for it. Not to mention, a lot of them don't have any tires left. Visco's back into pit road. Better Place makes the move on Darling for 4th, while Doug Miller overtook Corey Hutchinson for 13th. A move for 10th as well as Major punches his ticket back into the top 10. Very impressed by Bobby Anderson's drive today. He did not put down a qualifying lap. He is up to the 3rd position after starting 26th on the grid. Ethan Amberg trying to attack Christopher Darley. 20 laps to go, this time by. Time is running out. And we will have a yellow flag as we got a big mess on the back straightaway. A hard hit to the inside. Stan Hausman just got drilled. Kevin Graham is also involved. Sedarius Days with a lot of damage. A big pile up, and we are under our 3rd yellow flag of the night. We'll take a look back and try to dissect again what happened for this one. The Allen Motorsports driver looking like took one of the bigger hits in the midst of all of this. This is right around that fight for 10th and 11th and 12th. Simonazzi Major sweeping up wide. Did he get into this? No, he did not. Graham just lost that by himself. Overcorrected, back up into traffic. Clipped Stan Hausman. And then the field trying to scramble, nowhere to go. Doug Milner just squeaks through that. And then there's the heavy lick for Sedarius Days, who just had nowhere to go. It's a very tough break for Days. That's a nasty lick into the door. We'll take another look at this. This will be a much better angle of it at speed. Watch him come in stage right, and boom, heavy hit. On board with Days, who just, I mean, you were committed at that point, and there was nothing he could do there. He did his best, and unfortunately it wasn't enough. This will be on board with Doug Milner. He just barely avoided this mess. And yikes! Great car control there from Doug Milner. They're able to get that thing into the grass. I'm sure he'll take an off-track 1X as opposed to a demolished race car. Mark McFadden, the recipient this time of the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog. So he'll get one lap back and is now on the lead. We'll see if we can get in touch with a couple of the drivers here while we're under this yellow flag. And you know what? Why not? We'll see if we can talk to one of the rookies entering this season. He's been having a pretty good day so far, and we'll see if we can get in touch with Ethan Amberg, the driver that runs in 6th. Ethan, this is Noel Rempel up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's been a good run for you. You've been running in the top 5 for much of this race, and your debut race at that. Kind of walk us through your afternoon thus far.
It's been a good time. Main goal has just been keeping it clean, running smooth, making sure to put it at the right time. It's going pretty smooth so far. I've probably just jinxed myself, but it's been a good time.
Still a good distance to go. Looking at the season as a whole, are you looking to compete full-time? And if so, what's the goal?
That's the goal. Don't really have a huge plan for it right now. Main goal is just to finish the races, get some experience. I don't have a lot of experience in the Cup car. This is my first Cup week, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, you've been making splash. Go ahead, sorry.
Goal is to finish. That's the goal.
Well, you've been doing a good job of that so far. I know we're getting ready to go back to green here, so we'll let you get back to work. Good luck.
Appreciate you checking in. Thank you.
Ethan Amberg, Highline Motorsports, currently runs 6th place in his Speed Cup Series debut. He is looking to be restarting 3rd on the outside. Started this race from 5th place, and he has been up in the top 5 for much of the night. Not looking to have anything upset that run now. Coming around through turn numbers 3 and 4. Garcia's ready to see if he can come out on top with the race win at the end of the day, looking to kick off his title defense on a high. Pace car once again into pit road. We work our way back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag's out. We're back underway. Fanning out down the front straightaway. Garcias hangs on from Shelton for the time being. Single file all the way until that 5th spot. Darling trying to fend off Amberg. Ethan Amberg going around the long way through turn numbers 1 and 2. While Garcias under heavy fire for the lead. Ryan Shelton wants to take it away. So Garcia still trying to hang on, but Ryan Shelton is like a dog with a bone. Once he gets a scent of it, he is never going to let it go until that thing is buried. And right now, he is trying to bury Garcia's chances on going for a race win, but he's got to get around him for the lead first. And right now, Garcia's blocking so hard, he's just put himself into the wall. Garcia's waved left, he immediately waved back right, slammed the outside wall on the approach to turn 1. Doesn't look like that's hurt the car too much. But now he's loose out of turn number 2. Here comes Shelton with the run to the inside, being forced to the grass as Jason Garcia is trying to hang on. He'll give him the room he needs to make it work. Ryan Shelton driving to the bottom of turn number 3. Contact between the two. Garcia is forced off the racetrack. Ryan Shelton is throwing into the race lead. Let the dog fighting commence. My voice was starting to go about 30 laps ago, and they are trying to bury that thing as well. Shelton continues to hang on, but for how long? Garcias has been the fastest car all night. He won't be content with second. Shelton going to look to pick off the number 1, and now he is starting to build a gap. Could this be the end of Garcias' reign up front? Better place looked for second, decided against it. Bobby Anderson and Brandon Fetterplace also in the background trying to make up moves. Shelton with a monumental run, though. Garcia's with a monumental run. Here he goes, looking for the outside of Shelton. Drag race to the line. Garcias leads the lap. 14 to go. Shelton still duking it out with the number 1. Jason Garcias hangs on for the race lead, but Ryan Shelton trying to get it back. On the outside, it's turn 2, they're both sideways! Can they hang on? They don't! Garcias is around! The dominant car is wrecked! Caution flight is out! And Garcias, with damage now and down the field, Fetterplace takes the lead! Oh, you are kidding me! Jason Garcias, after holding on for so long, throws it away off of turn 2. Brandon Fetterplace going to be hanging on to this one. 13 laps to go. And you know that could be some bad blood after that. Coming around through turn number 1. Shelton blinked out for Garcias blinked out for a brief moment. Shelton did get a little sideways entering turn number 2, and I wonder if he made some contact with the 1. Garcias then loops it around. He gets some help from Bobby Anderson, and that spins the 1 machine down. Roof flaps deployed, and that spun the 1 car all the way down. He is very lucky that that did not end up in a worse incident. That easily could have been up to a race ender for him. Holy cow. I'm almost at a loss for words with that. That was absolutely insane. Is that speed? How that was not a bigger wreck is beyond me. Let's take a ride on board here with Ryan Shelton, who now runs second. Oh, he did. He got into him big time, and that may very well have unsettled him. Oh, boy. I think this race has just kicked into overdrive, and all of this with a dozen laps left to go. This race far from over. Brandon Federplay's leading his first laps of his Speed Cup Series career. Carl the Charles takes the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. When we return, we'll get back to racing action. I'm going to give my voice a rest and get a drink of water. I think I need it after that wild restart. We'll be back in a moment. Ten laps will be the distance when we get back to racing action at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Brandon Federplay's Ryan Shelton lead the way. This latest caution comes after Ryan Shelton gave Garcias the bumper and turned him around off of turn number 2 at the end of an absolutely wild restart that could no doubt cause some hurt feelings. We'll see if that'll end up being the case later on in this race, but for now, Brandon Federplay is going to be heading up the field. As he looks set to capitalize on taking the lead off of that yellow flag and trying to see if he can put himself into a race win in his Speed Cup Series debut. To the restart zone. Green flag's out. We're underway. Driving it in deep through turn number 1. The whole field still looking strong. Christopher Darling to the inside of Ethan Amberg trying to retake the 4th place spot. Amberg hangs on around the outside. He's up in a 4th. Martin Plutz and the 65 both in the mix here. Zachary Cox way up the hill and into the wall. And Ryan Shelton dropping down to the number 2 spot. It's a rookie 1-2 as Bobby Anderson makes the move. Oh, and into the outside wall, big, further in the rear. That was Zachary Cox again, the Highline Motorsports driver, going into the outside wall again. That time off at turn 4 and it goes awry. Now sweeps through 3 wide up the middle, gets around Jason Shu as well as the 56 of Craig Schroeder. Caution on the racetrack. We got the 56 going around. That is Craig Schroeder. So the Coors Light machine is around to the back of the field. Jason Shu getting involved as well. 5th yellow flag of the day. Brandon Fetterplace maintains his run to the lead. Will be green with less than 10 to go. Goodness gracious, this pack showing no chill this afternoon. Let's take a look back. Find out what happened here. Oh, just got loose it looked like, then overcorrected heavily into the outside wall along with the Budweiser number 3. It's pretty safe to say why that yellow flag came out. Very much warranted. Again, the field doing a phenomenal job on getting around that to make sure that was only limited to a 2-car incident. Yeah, just lost that. Completely unabated, no help. So the yellow flag is out on the Speedway. Joey Barrett should be able to get the lucky dog free pass and get himself back onto the lead lap after that car took a heavy whack early on. Jason Gracias has made his way up to the 14th position now. There's a wild moment there for Gracias on that deal as he finds himself down the field. He now runs 14th and does not look like he's going to be available to give us a word. Was hoping we could maybe talk to him and see if we could get his thoughts on what went down there, but does not look like he is going to be available. It's understandable. I don't think I'd be in the mood to chit-chat after that either. Carl DeCharles, Jason Shu, Craig Schroeder, all into pit road. Let's see if we can get in touch with some of the other drivers in this race and see if we can give somebody a chit-chat. So Miller right now up 17 positions, but the big mover so far this afternoon has got to be, by and large, Bobby Anderson to that Kellogg's Cornflakes number 5 Toyota Camry, up 24 after not putting it down on a qualifying lap. It's been a very solid outing for him. You have 3 rookies right now running within the top 5, those rookies being Fetterplace, Anderson, and Amberg. So looking like Ryan Shelton and Jason Garcia's two drivers that were running the way with the championship in Season 2. They could very much have a huge fight on their hands all season long. Next week for the Speed Tires Plus Cup Series, when they get set to duke it out for more racing action, they will be swinging on out to Mobility Resort Motegi. It'll be a Speed Cup Series first. And they go racing over in Japan, hopping across the Pacific. That racetrack is, it's a bit of a divisive one in the stock car racing community. I feel like there's two polar extremes. You either love it or you wish it would be burned to the ground, and there doesn't tend to be an in-between. I'm in the love it category. I've seen a lot of good races there, and I am hopeful that these guys will be able to put on a phenomenal show when we swing out to Japan for one of two international races throughout the season. The other one being up in Canada at the start of October at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. 47 laps should make for a good one around the Canadian F1 circuit. Happy as always that you all are joining us on Green Flag TV for what is going to be an absolutely epic finish. 5 laps will be the distance. One more yellow flag and we will be into green-white checker territory. Coming off of turn number 4, ready to go at it. Pick your bets. Who's going to take the win in the season opener for the Speed Cup Series in 2024 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Green flags out. 5 laps to go. Oh, and already we got one hard into the wall. One driver sliding back big time with a lot of damage. That might be Corey Hutchinson. And it looks like it is. Now we got more going around. Hard hit into the inside fence. It's overtime. That was Tim Branson and Matthew Mystical that went around. So another big crash, and that will force an overtime restart. You can hear Fetterplace putting in that clutch just for good measure. Goodness gracious, what happened on that restart? So it was actually Zach Graham with a lot of damage on the inside. And coming off of turn number 2, oh, Mystical just got loose and tracked right down to the Branson as Branson was tracking out. You're going to see the 509 exit stage left and go hard into the inside wall. Taking a broader look at the green flag as a whole, what the heck happened? We had a car spun around in the background as well. Josh Emerson had actually lost it at the tail end of the field. So who all wrecked here? Oh, it was Hutchinson. Hutchinson with a massive shot into the outside wall. He got turned. I think that's one of the messiest restarts we've ever seen from the Speed Cup Series before. What a lick. So jumping up front, you can see Hutchinson. Oh, Zachary Cox just tried to cut to the inside and hook the 28. Bit of a clumsy move there from the 65, but it's not the first we've seen this race. There goes the field around, hard lick into the inside wall. And then this is on board with Josh Emerson off of turn 4. He was warming the tires and, oh wow, that's embarrassing. Just warming the tires and lost it. He was able to catch up to the field. So, green, white, checkered finish. There are 2 attempts. For attempt 1, if we get another yellow flag before we get to 1 to green, we'll reset, we'll try it again. If we get another one after that, the race will end under caution. Joey Barrett for Vincent Motorsports going to be picking up the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog free pass. And he will take up the tail end of the leaders. Now on the lead lap. It's been a wild night so far this afternoon, and you have to wonder perhaps the track temp at 114 degrees has had a lot to say in this. We haven't touched on that at all, I think, tonight, in fact. But, yeah, 114 degrees. That's going to help nobody. But a very wild outing indeed. Holy cow. I mean, you want to talk about a wild ride. That is very much a wild ride. So Brandon Fetter plays with the race lead. Bobby Anderson will run second. Ryan Shelton, Ethan Amber, Christopher Darling, Martin Blue start first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Realistically, I think this comes down between Fetter Place, Anderson, and Shelton to take this win. But I'm not going to discount Amberg out just yet. He has been on a tear all day long. In his rookie debut, he has been having a phenomenal drive. Has been to the top 5 almost all night long. Not anticipating that to change anytime soon, bar a wreck. Josh Emerson mowing the lawn a little bit at the tail end of the field again. So evidently has not learned his lesson from when he almost lost it out of turn 4 off the last restart. Through 3 and 4, the green flag is in barn to the flagman's hands. 2 laps the distance. If we crash again, we'll have 1 more attempt. Odds of that, with this many cars, and the aggression we've seen, very high. Pace Cars is going to turn on in. Making our way to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. 2 laps to go. Phantom Blaze gets away really well. Ryan Shelton trying to pressure for the number 2 spot down to the turn number 1. But Bobby Anderson fighting back for the top shelf. Contact between the rookie and the veteran. Shelton down low. Anderson trying to hang on up top. All of this, exactly what Brandon Fetter Place needs to try to take his win in his rookie debut. Darling trying to attack for point. He's to the inside. picks off third, trying to go for second. Dead heat side by side with the 99. Put Darling onto the podium as we enter turn number 3. Oh, they're wrecking in the background. Do we hang on? Looks like we will. Stenhausen went around for a moment, but no caution. Feder Place with the lead. Does he take the white flag? Yes, he sure will. 1 lap to go. Shelton trying to hang on for third, but Christopher Darling not going to let this go without a fight. Shelton's in a turn. He turned. Shelton hard into the wall. He's going to be dumped out of the podium finish. Christopher Darling trying to go for second. Bobby Anderson hanging on around the outside line. Feder Place with no competition up the road. Drama on the final lap as Christopher Darling takes out Ryan Shelton down to the turn number 3. Feder Place around the outside. Here comes Hammer, 3 wide for third. Flute down on the bottom. 2 rookies trying to go for a podium. Well, it's 2 veterans that have been in season 1 trying to go at it themselves. Brandon Feder Place and his rookie star takes his first race win of his Speed Cup Series career. The fight for third, and it'll be Bobby Anderson to hang on for a 3rd place finish in his rookie debut. Crashing across the line, hard into the outside wall for Jason Gracias in the field, piling up. But it's all over. Brandon Feder Place takes the win. Feder Place, no stranger to victory lane in league racing. But boy, oh boy, to take your first win in your first race with a new series is something else. Multiple drivers giving Feder Place some congratulatory tags on the rear end. And a very well-deserved win for this number 34 Toyota. What a wild race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Most of the field will take to pit road. But for Feder Place's number 34 Toyota, he will work his way to the front straightaway, where he will get set to set this field alight. An extremely wild race, and his debut start, Feder Place will get to burn it down across the yard of bricks. Oh boy. A wild scene from IMS here this afternoon. The Brickyard never fails to disappoint. So you tell me, would you rather race in Daytona or here? I say here. This race was absolutely phenomenal this afternoon. He puts on a real smoke show for the fans. With all of that said and done, we get a chance to take a look at your official post-race results this afternoon. Taking a look back at this one as Feder Place takes home the race win in his debut start. Christopher Darling, your Season 1 champion, brings it home in second. Bobby Anderson, another rookie debuting his car tonight, brings it home in third. Martin Flute was fourth. Ethan Amberg was in fifth. Zachary Cox, Josiah Vincent, Craig Schroeder, Minazzi Major, and Jason Gracias round out the top 10. From there, Doug Milner, Carlton Charles, Mark McFadden, Jason Shoes, Stan Hausman, and Joey Barrett and Ryan Sheldon finish this race on the lead lap, with Kevin Graham down in 18th, Hutchison 19th, and Justin Taylor rounds out the top 20. McReynolds is 21st, Rooney 22nd, McDougal 23rd, Tim Branson 24th, Andy Levy at 25th, the Simmer at 26th. Drivers like Sedarius Days, Josh Emerson, Mike Borgfred, and Matthew Mystical, Emmett Lindquist, along with Ben Asher and Ryan Williams, did not finish race in action this afternoon. Holy cow, an absolute barn burner this afternoon, and I could not have hoped for anything better this afternoon. Let's see if we can't get a chit-chat here with the driver that comes home to take his first ever race win in an extremely dominant drive this afternoon. As Brandon Fetter plays, my goodness, what a drive for him. We'll try to get in touch with him this time by, but you can get a hold of him. There he is, already down and waiting for us. It is a huge day for the driver to Cincinnati, Ohio. Brandon, what a day. It's your debut start. You come home and you take the race win in an absolutely wild race. Walk us through your season debut this afternoon.
Uh, I'm actually in shock. I mean, there's a lot of fast guys out here. I'm just glad that I was able to capitalize when they started wrecking each other up front. Because Jason was pretty fast, Ryan was pretty fast. You know, the front couple of guys were just lights out. I mean, and you had to really save while trying to be fast. So it was pretty interesting.
The cautions felt at interesting periods, one kind of midway through the first stint and then one again a little bit further on. How did the pit strategy pan out for you this afternoon, and what did you have to change about your driving style to make it work?
Um, with there being, um, we only had two sets of tires off the car, so we really needed to manage our stuff. There was, you couldn't pit a whole bunch. You pretty much needed to run fuel stints and save your tires at the same time. So, it definitely made me rethink just going out there and trying to be blistering fast all the time because it was also hot. So, the tires did not last.
Well, you were able to come home, you take a solid race win in your first outing, and obviously make it a big splash in your rookie start. Do you plan to go for the championship season-wide?
Uh, I'd like to. I'm not sure. I have some other obligations. So it'll depend on what happens with that. Um, but yeah, I enjoy racing here.
Well, we'll get set to see you then, hopefully, when we go racing next week at Motegi. Congratulations on taking your first win and your first start. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Holy cow. Brandon Fetter plays, taking the race win in his debut start after a wild one this afternoon. We'll get the chance to bring on down Christopher Darling, the driver that is able to come home and take home a very solid second place finish. And Christopher, you're obviously no stranger to wild finishes in this series, and it was another one tonight. Walk us through what happened with Ryan Shelton on that final lap.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't my intention, so I definitely owe him a big apology. I don't know, we were racing pretty tight going into turn three. He held me tight. He had to, and I couldn't get the car to cut all the way down below that white line with my left, so we ended up kind of make contact there. I mean, that's just racing. And then coming off four, I got a little loose and just kind of run into his door. But I mean, I was sliding all night. And then into one, I literally found out on what lap was that? Lap 90. I found out on the last lap that I was braking too late going into the corners, and that's probably why I was tight all night. I run him over, so I know he's probably gonna be pretty mad about that, and just gotta send him an apology. I don't know. There's not really a lot I'm gonna say. I mean, he got wrecked, and I ended up making out like a bandit, so it is what it is. I'll take the brunt of whatever.
Regardless, you always have to get a good handful of points to hit the ground running. You came up a little bit short in Season 2 of the championship, but entering Season 3, a second-place finish, definitely a good way to kick things off, especially since you're well ahead of the defending champion, Jason Gracias. Is the plan to try to retake that title back from Season 1?
I'd like to try, but I got a lot to work on this season. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a little long run speed to keep up with these guys. So we'll see. I definitely didn't have a very well. I could run a fast lap, but I didn't have much consistency tonight. So we'll have to try and figure that out and work on that. But I don't know. Hopefully, I didn't make Ryan too mad because he was kind of helping me coming into Indy, and it did really help a lot. So. I don't know. Hopefully he's not too mad. He'll still help me out a little bit.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen when we go racing next week at Motegi. Congratulations on taking second place regardless, and we'll see you in Japan.
Thanks.
Christopher Darling comes home number 2 on the afternoon for the driver to Harpersville, New York. And that will bring us down to the third place driver. It is Bobby Anderson bringing it home for the number 3 spot, the final step on the podium. And I don't think there's any better way you can prove that you are going to have a good run of the season than coming from 26th to 3rd in a debut race at a race like this at Indy. Walk us through the mad charge of the field as you're the hard charge of the race here.
Yeah, this is actually my first laps here, so I really just wanted to stay out of everyone's way at the beginning and not mess with anybody's season or anything. I don't know if I'll be running every race, but I felt really slow in the beginning. I just wasn't running the track correctly. I was hearing how the leader was running, half a second faster than me. And then I finally started figuring something out around, call it lap 65 or lap 70. Finally started driving the track correctly, passing some people who seemed to be wearing off their rear tires, and a lot of fun.
This race proved to be a crazy one. You were able to make that charge to the field. The caution started to mount in the closing stages, and you found yourself being hit around left, right, front, and center. What was it like having to change your driving style to make it work in the final 30 laps there?
Yeah, I started diamonding the corner a little bit. I found I was really getting a good runoff on people and able to pass people down the backstretch. And then that wreck between first and second place happened, and I darn near got through that. I actually just passed Brandon. So I knew I could get by him, but he got lucky on that and just kind of made out around all of us to take the lead there and hold on to it.
You mentioned you probably weren't going to be running all the races this season, but what's going to be the long-term goal for Speed?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. I got a buddy here that decided to run a race tonight, and so it's fun having someone that race with you. So that may draw me out to some more races, but just depends on my work schedule at the end of the day. But this league's a ton of fun. I've run a few races here and there in the past couple seasons, and always puts on a good show. And the purpose of this is to have fun, which I think they do a good job of making that happen for everybody.
Well, we'll get set to see how the season's going to pan out for you as a whole. It was a very strong outing, and no doubt big things ahead for the Kellogg's Corn Flakes Camry. Congratulations on taking your first podium in your first race for Speed, and we'll see you later on in the season.
Thanks, Nolan. Great broadcast.
Bobby Anderson comes home out of Mansfield. He will be taking home the third and final finish of the afternoon. What an absolutely wild night this was this afternoon. I don't think you could hope for a better season opener. I know I certainly could. And that's about all the time we're going to have for one afternoon. When we return, it'll be at the Mobility Resort Motegi over in Japan for race number 2. But before that, you got the ASRL Next Gen Cup Series with their season opener. That'll be down at the iRacing Super Speedway coming on up 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night. For the High Tide Racing League MF Racing Designs Cup Series, it's the first race of the round of 8 down at Atlanta Motor Speedway, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night. And then at Bristol, the last great Coliseum makes its return with the OMSRL Cup Series at 8:45 on Tuesday nights on July 23rd. All of that and so much more coming up on Greenflight TV. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflighttv.com. I'm out of breath. I'm going to give my voice a rest. My goodness, what a wild way to kick off the season. When we return, it's racing in Japan on Thursday nights.